Whether you're new to Stardew or you've been playing Stardew Valley for quite some time, tips and tricks are always so useful in every gameplay. And today is going to be jam-packed with over 20 tips and tricks that I can definitely suggest to any Stardew Valley player. Let's get into it. Hey guys, it's your girl Fuzz and welcome back to another Stardew Valley video. And let's jump straight in there. Today's first tip is to be sure to clear off rocks and trees on your farm. When you first start off with Stardew Valley, there are plenty of trees and rocks and fiber all over your farm. And even though you might want this all to be clear when you first get into Stardew, these resources are actually really useful. Be sure to farm as many trees and rocks as you can during your playthrough throughout your farm. But be sure to keep some trees around in areas that you're not planning to do anything with just yet, as these trees will drop seeds, which means even more trees for you to farm off. Also, be sure to clear off the fiber and not the grass on the ground to get any mixed seeds that may drop from them. Number 2, if you've got any spare days, why not check out the mines and collect every resource that you can. In most of my playthroughs, when I'm going through the mines for the first time, I try and upgrade my backpack for the first time with only 2,000 gold, because that will open up my inventory for even more resources to collect. I also recommend to bring yourself a chest to leave at the top of the mines. Reason being, if there's any resources that you can't carry on yourself, why not place them in that chest and pick them up for a later time to take back to the farm? Any resources that you're not sure what to do with, why not keep them in the chest, or better yet, if you've got some space to take them back to your farm, why not sell them? Number 3 is to sell often as you can. Stardew Valley is great for having forageables all over the place, so be sure to walk around and collect any forageables that you can. You can keep a small stack of these in a chest somewhere on your farm, and then why not sell the rest, especially if you know you're not going to use them just yet. Not only will collecting these forageables mean you can level up in your foraging level, but you'll be able to craft seasonal seeds at certain levels of your forageable skill, which will require those seasonable forages. So be sure to keep a stack of every forageable that you get in every season so you can craft those seeds and make even more forageables to make more money. Number 4, as best as you can, keep a log of everything that you want to do in Stardew. In all of my playthroughs, I'm always running around and always having multiple goals to try and achieve. And it is best to try and keep a log either in your memory or writing them down. For example, if you want a backpack upgrade but you also want to build yourself a coop, you will need the gold and the resources for the coop to ensure that both of those can be bought. And in doing so, why not keep a track of everything that you want to do and be sure to cross them off when you do them, because Stardew Valley has so many tasks to complete and completing these all can sometimes be overwhelming. Number 5, if you have any seasonal cheap seeds or even mixed seeds available on your farm, why not use them at the end of your season so then when the new season rolls around, you'll have some dead crops. Now, how is that useful? Every seasonal seed will need a certain amount of time to grow, but when they're left, they become a dead plant for the next season. Leaving this crop to grow into the next season will obviously kill that crop, but it will leave you with a hoed spot, which means you won't have to use that energy to hoe that spot again. You could just use your watering can and place the seeds of that season instead. I would definitely recommend using mixed seeds if you have any spare, but you can also use wild seeds, which use your forageables to craft into, to be placed here. Number 6 is to farm your wood off of your farm, especially in Cinesat Forest. Not only is Cinesat Forest just south of your farm, but the trees that you can chop down here will actually regrow when you give them some time. Give the trees in Cinesat Forest a week or 2 to respawn and bam, you can go back to your wood farming in Cinesat Forest. This can be done all around Pelican Town, including the mountains and the bus stop. Just be sure that the tree can be chopped down and those trees will respawn in time. Number 7, as best as you can, plant your crops around your scarecrows. Scarecrows will cover a crop area 8 tiles vertical and 8 tiles horizontal and every tile in between. Be sure all your scarecrows can reach your crops because you wouldn't want a crow to eat your crop away. It is best to either place a whole bunch of scarecrows or be sure that your crops are placed efficiently around the scarecrow. Number 8, and this is for earlier playthroughs, but don't stress too much about fences. Fences are very useful in Stardew Valley, especially when used on your farm efficiently. Just keep in mind that fences do have a short lifespan, and if you see them decaying, if you have a fence in your inventory, you can click right on that fence and it will replace it with a new fence instead. On the topic of fences, if you've built yourself a coop in a barn and you find your animals running all over the place, it is a good idea to build your fences around them to keep them within them. It is obviously funny to see your chickens and cows run all over the place, but it is better to keep them in a little area, which is dedicated just for them. And fences can definitely keep them within the area that you want them to stay within. Next up is the use of flooring on your farm. Now there are many talks about the use of flooring, if it's really needed or not on your farm, but when you place it on your farm outdoors, you actually have a running speed that is 0.1 faster than your normal speed. Obviously 0.1 is not much of a speed boost, but it is faster than walking in grass, or it prevents you from walking into debris. What's also useful about floor pieces is that they prevent any debris from appearing on that tile that you've placed them. But if there is any debris that is nearby and it isn't cleared, there is a random chance that that debris will eat up that spot. Next up is the food items that you can get really earlier on in Stardew Valley. Foraging and combat level 1 both unlock you recipes that are great to use in the mines. Foraging level 1 unlocks field snacks, which just uses one of each of the common seeds that you get from trees. And combat 1 unlocks you bug steak, which uses 10 bug meat to craft into. Both of these are really great for your early mines, or if you just need some spare energy, so keep that in mind. On the topic of skills, every time you level up, be aware of the recipes that are unlocked once you level up. There are so many great recipes that unlock every time you level up, so be sure that you're very aware of these, including furnaces, crystallariums, and even bobbers that you can use on your fishing rod when you have an upgraded fishing rod. Be sure to go through your craftables to have a check of these recipes that you have unlocked, as you never know, they might be more useful for you. Next up is check Robin's inventory and what is craftable through her for your playthrough. Not only is Robin's store really great for some wood and stone if you want to purchase them, but she also has some really cool furniture to use within your house. And she also has recipes that you can grab one time so then you can craft them in your inventory. Also, it is great to see what else you can build on your farm through Robin, as she has a range of buildings that are definitely going to be helpful in your playthrough. Keep in mind of the resources and the gold required to build these, and have fun placing as many as you want of each of these, as long as you had the space. Next up is some useful tips in the mines to get yourself some cherry bombs and bombs. If you want to get your hands on some cherry bombs, it might be useful to kill some rock crabs and duggies as they have a chance to drop them. And if you're looking for some normal bombs, you can try and kill some bats, frost bats, lava bats, and lava crabs for your chance of getting a bomb. Number 15, if you find yourself short on food, salmon berries in spring and blackberries in fall are a great resource to bring with you. Either between the 15th to the 17th in spring or between the 8th to the 11th in fall, salmon berries and blackberries can be found all over Pelican Town. They may not replenish you with a lot of health and energy, but they're still definitely useful to take along into the mines or if you need some spare energy. If you don't want to use them for food, you can sell them instead to make you some extra income, and there's a little secret in the secret woods that will increase the value of the salmon berries and blackberries, but to those that are new to Stardew, I'll keep that a secret. Number 16, if you've reached level 5 or level 10 in a certain skill and you're not happy with your choices in that certain skill, there's actually a statue in the sewers, which I'll keep a secret to those that are new to Stardew, that you can go to and spend 10,000 gold to change your choices for a certain skill. And you can do this as many times as you want for each skill. So if you've made a choice that you're not happy with, no worries, just wait till the sewers is open and you can spend your gold to change it into something you would prefer. Number 17, crab pots are really great for those that want to not only increase their XP in fishing, but to also get them items that they could use for themselves. Crab pots are really cheap to craft, but they're also really cheap to buy once you've unlocked them at fishing level 3. I generally like to buy a whole bunch from Willy at 1500 gold each, place them by the beach or even by the river in Cindersap Forest, and see what kind of fishes I can catch. There is a chance that trash will appear in these crab pots, but do not throw these away. They may be trash, but at level 4 of fishing, you unlock a recipe for a recycler. Use your trash piece in there and it will reward you with something that may actually be useful for your farm, whether it's stone, wood, coal, or even refined quartz. So keep that in mind. Number 18, always keep a hoe in your inventory. Whenever you walk around Pelican Town, you may find these little worms coming out from the ground. Those are called artifact spots. Use your hoe here and it'll give you something that may be useful. You may get a lost book that goes into the library which you can read later, or you may get an item from them, resources, artifacts, and even warp totems depending on where you've used your hoe. So always try and collect the artifact spots whenever you can, because they may give you something that you need, especially clay, which is always something that I need on my farm. Number 19 is be as organized as you can with your chests. I've done a video on this previously, but chests are very important in Stardew Valley. Not only are they a great way to put your items down so you're not having to carry them all the time, but you can color code each chest and use each chest for something specifically in that chest, whether it's a mineral, a resource, or even a forageable. Keep a note of what that item is that's in your inventory, and be sure to keep anything that is similar with each other in a chest. That way, if you know you need a fruit, a vegetable, or a resource of some sort, hopefully you've organized yourself enough that you know which chest to go to. Number 20 is always save your geodes as much as you can. Going to Clint every time and having to break open these geodes every time with 25 gold can be annoying, but I definitely recommend having a chest on your farm and placing all your geodes in there. And when you're ready to break them open and you have a large stack of each, why not head over to Clint and break these open? You can even place a chest within his shop to put these geodes in, or even any minerals that you don't need that you don't have the space to carry. This is a really great idea, especially if you need to complete the museum, but if you know you've handed that item in to Gunther, why not just sell them back to Clint instead? You can make that 25 gold before you know it. Number 21, and I'm guilty of this, is to always keep some sort of funds in your inventory and not always getting yourself super broke. Sometimes I'll head to Pierre and buy a whole bunch of seeds and not realize how much I'm spending at Pierre, to the point that I only have a couple of gold in my inventory. It is best to keep yourself at a couple of hundred gold just in case you need them for the traveling cart, or if you do need to buy some resources at Clint's or Robin's, which is always something that I'm in need of. I try and keep myself at a minimum at my gold and make sure that I don't go any lower than that in case I need my gold for something else. And something that's been important in my gameplay is always needing hay, especially in winter, and I need the gold so I can buy them from money. So be sure to keep yourself at a minimum of some sort and don't go any lower than that just in case that you need it for something else. Now number 22 is kind of hard to explain, but if you have an item that you know can be placed into a machine and turned into something else, that will definitely be more beneficial gold-wise than it is if you keep the original item. This includes, for example, preserve jars. For example, if you have a whole bunch of fruit and veggies and you just end up selling them, why not save them and put them in a preserve jar instead? A preserve jar will change a fruit or a vegetable into a jelly or pickles, and this will double the value of that fruit plus 50 gold. Which means you can just make over double the value of that fruit or vegetable instead of just selling it. This is the same. Instead of selling your ores, you can turn them into bars and sell them that way, or using a crystallarium and putting a mineral in there so you can keep duplicating that mineral. Always think about maximizing the gold that you get in return for an item, because Stardew Valley will have a way somehow. And my last tip is don't ever forget about the traveling cart. She is super useful if you're completing the community center because she may have items that you may have missed or something that you don't know how to get your hands on. But she may have something that you may want for your farm, including furniture items and rare seeds. The traveling cart is so useful. She may be pricey, so bring your wallet with you. After all these tips, I hope you've learned something from today, and if you have, a like will be greatly appreciated. And if you've enjoyed your stay, why not consider subscribing to see even more Stardew Valley videos? And to that, thank you so much for watching today's video, and hopefully I see you next time. Take care.